All right, so welcome back to Jamovi. This is more of a note on saving and opening and file organization. So with data, I mean, really with anything, but with data in particular, you want to be really mindful of the way that you're organizing your files so that you can easily find your most recent data and you don't lose all this work that you've done. So I'm in a blank file here. And let's say that I decide to save it. So I can say save as. So it's going to go to wherever you last looked when you were in Jamovi. Mine is set to this device, and I could go to documents or downloads. I could browse. I'm going to go to documents, and I'm going to go to data. And so you can see that I have a bunch of folders here, and they're in my surprisingly called data folder. So you can see that I organize it a number of different ways. And I have subfolders in here. Basically, past projects that I'm no longer working on are archived. I need to archive that one. And then current projects are here. So this is not just Jamovi. I have other data files in here. So I have R and SPSS and Stata, Excel files, but basically I manage them in all the same way. I also have naming conventions. So my naming convention is that I use a short name and then the date. So the reason why I do that and why I recommend it is that you might make alterations to your data. And Jamovi actually has some safeguards that we'll get to, but you could mess up your data. And then if you save it, how do you go back to your clean data that was not messed up? So if you do something like this, where you have a lot of versions of the same data and you use your most recent one and update that, you can always go back and look at previous versions. That has saved me so many times. Now, that's going to change if you're using syntax. That's a whole different situation. We'll talk about syntax later on. Actually, we probably won't get to in 144. But if you're in a different class of mine, then we'll talk about syntax later. But you typically want to keep versions of your data so that way you can go back to them. So here I am going to say save, and I'm going to put this, we're going to say that I'm working on my SMA data. And because this isn't a real file, I'm not going to put in any specific folder, but I could click into a folder and save it. So I'm going to say SMA _814 2023. And I'm going to say version 2 because I already saved an SMA on 814. So another part of my naming conventions. So I'm going to save. And so now it tells you that it's saved, and there it is. And then I can go and I can look at my most recent to open them. I could do imports. And so I could import data using, I could do Excel, I could do SPSS, I can do a variety of different options, right? So I'm not going to cover that in this video, but that's a basic overview of naming conventions, filing, and then saving and opening files. So that is the end of this video.